We usually think of coaching feedback as just information, right? Technical advice to help an athlete get better. But what if the most powerful feedback has almost nothing to do with the words you use? What if it's all about how that feedback lands inside an athlete's nervous system? That's what we're digging into today, the hidden game of performance. Every coach, every athlete knows this feeling. You're in the middle of a competition and you get, or you give, the perfect piece of advice. It's clear, it's correct, it's exactly what's needed. But then, in the heat of the moment, poof, nothing happens. The advice just vanishes, or even worse, performance actually gets worse. So, what's really going on there? Well, it's because under pressure, an athlete's brain isn't just listening to words. Nope, their entire nervous system is feeling the delivery first. Before they can even begin to process the what of your feedback, their body is already reacting to the how, the tone, the timing, the emotional energy that you're putting out. And this brings us to a whole new model for coaching communication, and honestly, it's a fundamental shift. The idea is so simple, but it's also profound. You have to help regulate an athlete's internal state before you can effectively instruct them. Okay, so the key idea here is something called the psychophysiological state. That sounds complicated, but it's not. Just think of it as the combined reality of an athlete's mind and body at any given moment. Their heart rate, their focus, their muscle tension, the whole shebang. And this state, it acts like a gatekeeper, deciding if your coaching feedback gets in as useful info or if it just gets bounced at the door as more noise and threat. And this quote right here, it nails the sequence of events. An athlete's nervous system is scanning for safety or threat way before their conscious brain even starts to analyze the technical advice. So the delivery isn't just how you package the message. For the nervous system, the delivery is the first message. So here it is, the big takeaway. Regulation has to come before cognition. You see, an athlete can only tap into their higher level thinking, learning, decision-making, fine-tuning a complex movement, once their internal world is stable and calm. If they're feeling threatened or overwhelmed, that channel for new instruction, it pretty much just slams shut. And this right here perfectly illustrates what we call the hidden game. Take a look. On the surface, up top, we see the plays, the points, the physical skills. But underneath all that, performance is actually being driven by these unseen systems, their emotional state, their cognitive load, their physical readiness. So truly great coaching isn't just about yelling instructions at the visible game. It's about learning how to skillfully influence this invisible one. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you coach the hidden game? Well, let's shift gears and look at the practical tools that turn this idea into a real, in-the-moment strategy. And this is exactly where the Flow Mental Performance Support System, or MPSS, comes in. It's basically a toolkit packed with simple, practical skills designed specifically to help coaches and athletes manage this hidden game. The whole point is to regulate that internal state so an athlete is actually available to learn and perform at their best. All right, the first and maybe most fundamental tool is for the athletes themselves. It's a super fast internal reset called the stop skill. And it's designed to interrupt one of those emotional or physical surges before it completely hijacks their performance. Now, before we even break down the letters, just look at how simple this is. That's the whole point. This is not some complex 20-minute meditation. It's a 4-second sequence an athlete can use in that tiny pause between points or plays or reps. Okay, so here's how it works. S is for stop the surge, just a deliberate pause to hit the brakes on that mental tailspin. T is for take one breath, a single deep breath to calm the nervous system down. O is to observe. Just notice what's happening inside you without judging it. And finally, P is to proceed with purpose, to re-engage with a clear plan instead of just reacting on autopilot. Simple, right? Now, for tool number 2, this one's all about the coach-athlete interaction. It's a principle called connection over correction, and it's all about flipping the normal sequence of feedback on its head. And this comparison just says it all. In the old model, the correction-first model, the coach rushes in with the fix. But that urgency, it can feel like a threat. So the athlete literally braces, and that brilliant coaching advice just bounces right off. But in the connection-first model, the coach uses their presence, a calm voice, steady eye contact, to stabilize the athlete first. And only then, once the athlete feels safe and is receptive, is the instruction actually delivered. And then, it sticks. And let's be absolutely crystal clear about this. This is not about being soft or lowering your standards. Not at all. It's about being effective.
This is straight up physiology. If an athlete's nervous system is in a defensive crouch, their brain's ability to learn is physically limited. Connection is the key that unlocks that channel for learning again.
So what's the big payoff here? Why go to all this trouble? Well, this isn't just about winning one more point in one game. It's about a much, much bigger price, building more resilient, more durable, and more stable performers for the long haul.
This composure playbook visualizes it perfectly. Look on the left side in what's called the engine room. That's where athletes are working on those internal skills, managing their emotions, focusing their attention. And then look to the right. You see the direct result of that work on the court. Fewer unforced errors, smarter decisions, and cleaner execution when it matters most.
And the results become so tangible. Teams that coach this way start to see athletes who bounce back from mistakes in seconds, not whole minutes. They see players who make smarter choices under fire. They see cleaner execution when the stakes are highest. And the bottom line? Their performance just becomes way more consistent and reliable. And that really brings us to the core truth of this whole thing. Qualities we all admire, like mental toughness or being clutch, they aren't just things you're born with. They are the outcomes of an environment that's been intentionally designed to support regulation. It's simple. A stable system produces stable performers.
So this idea, reframing feedback from just instruction to a powerful tool for regulation, is a true game changer. If you want to dive deeper into this and get your hands on some of these tools to build more resilient and high-performing athletes, you can find everything at flowmpc.com.